Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the ICONversations Friday edition. The ICON program is designed to celebrate our company's top producers. These agents have gone far above capping status and are now earning back their paid company dollar with various stock grants, which are earned by reaching exceptional milestones. Today, on the stage from Ontario, we have Michelle Kennelly. From Texas, we have Jackson Wilkie. From also Ontario, we have Vinod Bansal. From Florida, we have Kwandeep. And from Georgia, our moderator is Mike Price. Mike, it's all yours.
All right, Brian, thank you for the wonderful introduction. And hello, everybody on the panel, Kwan, Vinod, Jackson, and Michelle. It is wonderful to be here today. And hello to everybody out in the crowd. We really appreciate you taking the time to sit in here and take advantage of all of the top producing agents on this panel. My name is Mike Price. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I live in North Atlanta. And I'm going to, instead of talking about me first, I'm going to go through and introduce all of our guests. And so you can see who you're looking at today and who you're learning from. And when I introduce the guests, they're going to tell us their name, where they're from, and we'll talk about their units and volume as well, and anything about their team. So Kwan, third panel with you here recently. Great to see you again. Tell everybody where you're from, and tell us about your team and your volume and units.
Yes, likewise, Mike. So I am from South Florida, the Palm Beach County area. And I have been in real estate for a little bit under 10 years. I'm a solo agent. I don't have a team of my own. And my volume, I would say, hovers around 30 to 35 units. And I close, I believe, in the last 12 months, around 12 to 13 million. And yeah, that's about it.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much, Kwan. Vinod, how are you doing, sir? Tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? Tell us about your team and your volume and units. All right, we will come back to him. Jackson, how you doing, Jackson? Nice to see you today. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and a little bit about your team and your volume and units.
Hey, Mike, there's some known issues in EXP world today that's preventing certain audio from coming through intermittently. So Jackson and I think Vinod have kind of lost their audio. They're going to come back. But Kwan and Michelle, do you guys still have audio?
No,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay. All right. I'll introduce myself, I guess, now. I'm Michelle Kennelly. I am out of Ontario, Canada, specifically Kingston to Belleville. It's about 2 hours outside of Toronto. So a bit of a smaller market, but very busy, which is great. Last year, I sold over 20 million sales volume. I do have a bit of a team. It's more so of a collaboration instead of a team. So we all just help each other and work together and have that support, which is great. And I've been in the business just under 10 years, and this is my fourth ICON year.
Wow. Awesome, Michelle. 10 years and 4 icons. Congratulations on your fourth icon. That was a great achievement.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you as well.
Well, so we've got a little bit of, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a little bit of audio problems. So we're gonna talk to the folks that are actually they're able to do it right now. And our apologies. We'll get that worked out. Brian's on the back end trying to figure it out.
Hear me? I'm here.
I think we got Vinod. You there, bud?
Yes. Yeah. I'm here. Sorry for that. I think there was some audio problem, but you guys can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you, Vinod. Thanks for coming in today. Good to see you on another panel, my friend. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and a little bit about your team and your volume and units.
Right, definitely. So yeah, myself, I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and this is my fourth year with EXP. and 3 times icon, and on the go for the 4th one, I believe. And in business, it's my 13th year in the business. And as far as my team is concerned, so I have around 22 partners in my team, and in my downline, we are around 85. And as far as the volume is concerned, so we do almost 70 to 80 transactions in a whole year as a team, and the volume is somewhere around 75 to $100 million.
Wow, impressive numbers. You guys are getting it done up there in the north. Thank you for telling us that. And so a little bit about me. My name is Mike Price. I'm married with a 10-year-old son. I live in Alpharetta, Georgia, which is about 20 minutes north of downtown Atlanta. And I have been in real estate full-time for 14 years. I've been with EXP 4 years. And like Michelle, have Icon 4 times. And so my team is, I've got 3 agents on my team. It's myself and 3 agents. And we are on track to do around 100 units, give or take a couple units, probably a little bit north of that. And then we're going to land somewhere around, 40 plus, maybe 45 million. So we're a fairly mid-sized team in the grand scheme of things, but we've got a great group of people. And so we love what we do. So thanks again, everybody. Let's just try Jackson one more time. Jackson, are you back up yet?
Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect, Jackson. Great. Good to hear from you. Yes, tell us a little bit about you, Jackson. Where are you from? And tell us a little bit about your team and your units of volume.
Perfect. I am now currently in Kingwood, Texas, basically a suburb of Houston. I have been at EXP a little over 4 years, Icon 4 years, and I actually don't sell any real estate. It's 100% referral business. I've generated over 600 home sales, all from YouTube, and traveled the country, starting YouTube channels across the country. So my main channel now and focus is the Houston one. So I do basically all video, YouTube, generate the business, and then I have teams across the country just closing the deals for me.
Wow, that is impressive. Well, we're gonna dive into that for sure here in a minute. So Jackson, thanks for letting us know. So ladies and gentlemen, when we have the powerhouses like this on the stage, you guys are in for a treat today. So one of the great things we love, all of us love about this company, is they are, the fireworks are wonderful. That's great. The one thing we love about this company is it's we're all tied together for the company stock and the revenue share, and everybody that is here is very open-minded and is an abundant thinker. And so, back in the day, I know it was people that were doing really well wouldn't want to tell you what they're doing. That's not the case here. So you've got the access to all these people on the stage, myself included, and everybody here is willing and able to help you, grow your business as well. So I've got a few questions laid out. We're gonna start with Jackson, and we'll start with you since you just got here. So when we are talking to Icons, there's a lot of things that they've done well, and we're going to try to uncover a lot of that today. So, Jackson, what are you most excited about looking forward to in the next 6 months? What excites you most about the next 6 months?
Some buyers to actually be excited to buy again. I think, especially for me with relocation buyers across the country, it's really been, and I'm sure it's kind of every market, but it's been a lot of conversation kind of about this election and what's going on. So it's kind of shrunk things up a little bit. And I think regardless of what happens, I think, in the next 6 months, I'm kind of hoping and seeing a little bit more market activity. So, I mean, we can let, other people go. I don't want to get too deep into what I'm too excited about, but we've got a lot of stuff going personally, for the YouTube channels, and way more refined on lead generation through the channel where we can provide a ton more value. So we've been working on some sites where people can go to that are interactive, and they can choose the areas that they're thinking about, moving to, relocating to, and then they're going to have a whole kind of library of videos specific for that area. And I'm really excited to see if that's going to generate, a lot more lead generation for us.
Well, it sounds like you've got a great plan there. And yeah, buyers, it's going to be interesting to see how the buyers are going to do post-election, as also with the new changes and everything. So thanks for that, Jackson. So Michelle, same question for you. What are you the most excited about and looking towards the next 6 months?
For me, the interest rate drops. Hopefully more are happening. In Canada, we've just seen a rate announcement this week, but it pertains to the variable rates instead of fixed rates. So we're hoping, people are speculating that rates are going to go down, which means buyers are going to come out of the woodwork. So far this week and last week, we've had a big surge of buyers come back into the market, which is amazing. So I'm really excited to get some people in homes and move them in the next 6 months. And I'm also excited to get my team kind of growing and being busy and productive as well.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Hopefully the rates will come down everywhere a little bit. I think if we can get a 5 in front of it, or a low 5, it's going to be gangbusters, and we're all going to be as busy as we can ever hope to be, for sure. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Vinod, tell us the same thing, bud. What are you the most excited about looking towards looking forward in the next 6 months?
Yes. So my response is the same as Michelle, because we were, waiting for this rate cut to come in, which was announced day before yesterday, and it's going to bring many buyers come back into the market who were sitting on the other side of the fence. Because in here, I believe from last 2 years, number of transactions are comparatively very, very less because of these rate interest fluctuations. So with this particular change, I believe a lot of buyers will be coming back. As far as my focused areas for next 6 months, the first one is expanding my client reach. So we are kind of looking forward to connect with more prospective clients and expanding our network to help more people. And we are working on some innovative lead generation ways or methods so that we can reach out to those potential buyers and sellers. And then we are kind of in a process of collaborating ourselves with some of the local vendors, though we have some on our database, but we are kind of strengthening those partnerships. So I believe the next 6 months are going to be, very, very good months because of these changes which are happening across Canada.
Sounds like a lot of opportunity in your part of the world. That sounds great. Well, thank you for sharing that. Quan, same question for you. What are you most excited about when you're looking towards the next 6 months?
Yeah, for mirroring on the other panelists, I would say I'm excited to see how the election is going to affect the market as well as the rate. Since I don't have a team or a big team, my sole focus is more on sellers. So a lot of sellers are also sitting on the sideline because they don't want to give up their 3 or 4% into the 6 and 7%. So I am definitely excited to have more sellers and more listings coming on the market, and I guess as well as buyers, because we need the buyers as well. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right there, Quan. We definitely need the buyers to help sell the listing. So that makes a lot of sense. And for me, what I'm most excited about is all I can see in the future is opportunity. Whether the rates go up or down, our team, we're prospectors. We still do lead gen every day. We pick up the phone and call our database. We call our leads. But one of the things I'm most excited about is there's like Quan just said, there's a lot of sellers out there that are sitting on the market. They're sitting off the market because they have a high interest rate or low interest rate, and they don't want to flip it into a higher rate. And so we're getting a lot of cash offer requests right now. And so I'm in the process of building a team of investors, and I've got 3 so far that can go in and make cash offers. And to be able to go into a house for a seller that may or may not be able to, you normally wouldn't meet, or may or may not be able to move. When you can get in front of them and give them a cash offer, that's just a great way to start the conversation and introduce yourself. Now, on the cash offers, most of they're going to come in lower than retail and market. They're going to come in 10, 12, 15% lower off the bat. But it gives you an opportunity to show your value proposition, and it gives you an opportunity to get in front of somebody that you normally wouldn't have met. And I'm so excited about the next 6 months because, those of us who are working on our business, are working on our scripts, are showing up every day, are showing the value prop to the buyers and sellers, those people are going to be doing really, really well over the next 6 months and the next year. 2025, I think it's going to be a great year for that. So, all right, everybody, thank you so much. I've got another kind of a question that ties into that. So instead of what are you excited about, what are you losing sleep at night about? What makes you lose sleep at night looking towards the next 6 months? And Jackson, we'll go back to you, sir. What's keeping you up at night thinking about something in the next 6 months?
I think, it piggybacks right off of what we were talking about. Really, I think the thing you talk about, and I coach a lot of agents across the country, so I'm talking to hundreds of them. And I just don't, I know there's the top few percent doing very well, but a lot of agents are really struggling right now. And I don't, are we truly at that bottom? Are rates really going down? So the thing that kind of keeps you up is like, man, you hear about rate drops, you hear about the Feds dropping, but the interest rates continue to rise. And the other thing that I kind of fear, I'm in the YouTube world, but there's a lot of the agents or people out there doing what we call the kind of the doom and gloom. And so I think the minds of the buyers, sellers out there are getting filled with the doom and gloom, So the thing that kind of keeps you up for the next 6 months is, are we truly at that bottom yet? Is it going to continue, going like this for a while? Because it could get a little bit more desperate here in a while.
It certainly can. That's one of the things we can't control as agents is what's going to happen in the market. There's so many factors involved, but yeah, I think you're right. There is a lot to think about there. Thanks, Jackson. I appreciate that. Michelle, same question to you. What's making you lose sleep at night thinking about, the next 6 months coming up?
That's a good question. But I don't lose sleep over anything because everything is figure outable, and I've made it work for the last almost 10 years in this business. So I am sure I will make it through lots more. So I don't know. I don't really lose sleep over stuff. I just take it day by day and just keep really putting the time and effort into my business to make it work.
Amen. I heard that. There's we focus on the things we can control for sure. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you for that. Vinod, same question, sir. What are you losing sleep about, if any, at night, thinking about the next 6 months? What's keeping you up at night?
So the only thing which keeps me awake when my wife is upset. That's it. Otherwise, I don't lose my sleep on anything.
Okay, that's great. Well, as long as she's happy, then you're happy. That's wonderful. No stress in your household. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, there is only one thing which is kind of bothering here is this, uncertainty in these government policies. These rate of interest fluctuations, because that is the only thing which keeps these buyers and sellers. Their mind is not kind of at the same place, because sellers are still expecting the rates which were there 2.5 years or 3 years back, and the buyers are thinking, oh, rates, they should go more down and down. That is the only thing which kind of sometimes bothers us. But as Michelle said, everything we can figure it out. If we have figured it out in the last 13 years, so we can do it next 13 years as well.
Exactly. There's always a solution.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Quan, same question to you. What's keeping you up at night? What makes you lose sleep thinking about the next 6 months coming up?
I would say I'm on the same page. I don't really lose sleep over deals and transactions. I used to, I would say, but I definitely learned to, learn to really just control what we can control. And on a funnier note, I definitely lose sleep at night because I have a newborn, so I wake up 3-4 times a night. So probably the only thing I lose sleep over.
Yeah, well, you only got only have a few more years of that, hopefully, so or less. And me, I'll answer that question too. I kind of lean to where Quan and Michelle came from. Is I don't really worry about it. There's a lot of stress when you're selling a lot of real estate, running teams, working with a lot of clients. But you got to put it in perspective when I was just started out, newer agent, and over the first few years, I was just stressed out to the max trying to build it. And then you can only focus on what you can control. And like Michelle said, everything's figure outable. I mean, you just have to have the right people around you. You have to take the time to figure things out. No matter which way it goes, you've got to be able to pivot. You've got to be able to shift and pivot quickly. And those who pivot quickly and adapt quickly always end up doing a lot better in tough times. So I'm with you guys. I don't lose a lot of sleep over it much. I just try to figure it out. So thank you all for the questions. And speaking of building a business, so the next question's talking about when you're starting your business. So Jackson, we'll go back to you. If you were a new agent and just starting your business, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
Well, I wasted a lot of time doing the things that I'm really shitty at. Hopefully we start really bad at. So knowing what I know now, I would have focused solely on, social media lead generation and value-based content. What I teach and preach to thousands of agents is we've heard of content marketing, but I don't know if we really know what it means. And that's like answering the consumer's questions. And so my first year, 12, 16 plus months, I really didn't close any deals. And it was because I was trying to do all of the stuff that every agent was doing. So the cold calling, the door knocking, and my personality just doesn't fit that. So I wasted a lot of time doing those things when I just was hoping nobody actually answered the phone on the other side. And would have gone all in on, more of a lead generation aspect through content marketing. So, everything worked out and I'm glad it did. I figured out what I didn't like, what I was really, really good at, but starting from scratch for me personally, I'm going to figure out, mediums, social media ways to get to mass audiences with marketing and messaging that lasts forever too. So I also was doing a lot, like hundreds and hundreds of videos on social media, but I learned quickly that, well, actually not quickly, after a while, a lot of that, only lasted for a day or so and then kind of fell off. And even though I was kind of getting more and more known in the area and getting seen, it wasn't generating any deals because it just didn't have anything to do with answering a consumer's question. So once I learned that, and nowadays, like I mentioned, I've traveled the country and I just kind of repeat the process. I would have definitely gone more in on just my strengths, which are video, being out there, even, what client appreciation stuff. I'm just really good with people. So the behind the, door knocking and the phones was just a waste of time for a long time for me.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's a lot. Yeah. Everybody's got to figure out, what's their jam, right? I mean, sometimes you have to try everything to figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is you just got to do something. You got to be doing something consistently, even if you're failing, fail forward, fail fast, and keep moving. So thanks, Jackson. Appreciate that input. Let's move on to Michelle. Hey, Michelle, same thing for you. If you were if you were a new agent, just starting your business like today, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
Okay. So one, I think I would have done a better job at finding my people. I kind of just landed at a brokerage and I was very complacent and I didn't have support and I didn't really know what to do kind of thing. So I wish I would have been a bit more proactive to find my people and find my group and my support system, which took a few years until I found EXP, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, I ran my business. Like the first thing someone told me was get your CRM in gear. and start reaching out to every single person in your sphere. And the same thing, like cold call and door knock and do all these things. And I didn't want to do any of that. So I took an alternate route. And for those out there who don't want to door knock and don't want to cold call and do all those things, join some sports, join some committees, join your chamber of commerce, join clubs, a book club, start a book club, start a Facebook group, do something that actually excites you to engage with the community and with the people that you're looking for to work with. It does not have to be door knocking or cold calling. I've never made a cold call in my entire career. And I would say I'm pretty successful not doing it. And I've only door knocked a few times, but that was only specific when I was looking for buyers. But yeah, those would be my key points. Like find your people, find your support system, and then find what you love to do and turn that into a way of getting clients into your sphere and starting conversations and just laying the groundwork, and also knowing that this is long term. So if you're in it for the long term, you are basically putting all the stones in front of you to get to your end goals, and that takes time. So building those roads, building those bridges slowly, and engage with people, because you might lay a stone now and talk to someone and it might go nowhere, but they might call you in 4 years time because they need to sell and buy again. So I would definitely say just keep it in mind that this is a long-term career, if that's what you want it to be, and lay the groundwork as such. And lastly, social media. Honestly, I have been on social media since pretty well day one. And for me, being actually social on social media is huge. So to those people who are, why am I not getting a response from Facebook or Instagram or TikTok? It might be because you're not social enough on it and engaging with people. So for me, I time block to actually go on to those social platforms and comment on people's stuff and engage with people, just to get those interactions going and keeping myself top of mind for all those people.
Yes, absolutely. Do something. And what you and Jackson said, both of you said kind of the same thing. You've got to find your strengths. So folks out in the audience, you got to find out what your strength zone is, and you got to find out what you enjoy doing. And, knocking on doors is tough. There's a lot of things that are tough, but you got to figure it out quickly. And then you'll know when you hit the right track, because it won't even feel like work anymore. Feel like you're just cruising. So thank you both for that. Vinod, same question. You are starting your business all over again right now, day one. Knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
All right, so that's a very beautiful question. So for me, I would personally say that everybody who is starting new, or if I'm starting new today, I should be taking care of my personal brand from the start as the main thing. I would build a unique brand identity even as a new agent, and focus on what it can make me different in this market. So make myself as a brand from the day one, and provide some value from the day one, whether it is leasing, whether it is pre-construction, whatever. Or second thing I would say, I'm day one. When I joined the real estate, I was on Facebook. So, but I wasn't, leveraging it, my social media. But when I joined EXP, so it was my thing that you have to face the camera, so you have to go in front of it and make some social media content, and it is such a powerful tool for real estate. So I would be consistent from the start. So if I would have done it in a better way from the day one, so I would be at a different level. But still, I have learned, either you do door knocking or you do phone knocking. So door knocking for me as well, it never kind of worked out for me very well. But this social media is really amazing, and I would say that anybody who is there today who's listening, watching this podcast or thing. So please, 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 either you do door knock or you do phone knocking. So, and that's it. And above all, I was an old school person, never used CRM in my previous company. And in here, we are using CRM systems. So I believe that is a thing which I could have done it from the day one. So to stay myself organized.
Great info. Thank you so much. Yes, organization is key with all of us. And so I'll kind of mirror what everybody's saying. And you've got to, if knowing what I know now, starting a business, I would have, first of all, looked up at those who are doing it very well in my market center or my marketplace, and gone to them and asked them quickly, what do I need to do here? What are 3 things I can do this week to get going? I like a lot of folks here. I door knocked. I never liked it. I never got a lot of business from it. I just didn't really like beating on people's doors. Cold calling, I still don't love it, and I do it. I call my database now, but I was a grinder. I did it, a lot of it for years, and hitting the headset and standing in front of the mirror and all that, and it produced great results. But there's also digital door knocking, like some of those folks up here are talking about. If you're active on social media and you're putting in the time and effort, and it's work, you can't just go on Facebook and say hi and get a lot of business. You got to work it like a business. You got to time block and work it like a business. And if you're doing that and being social and staying in front of people, you're going to get more activity. But whatever it is you do in your business life, you've just got to make sure you're putting in the time. You've got to put everybody on this stage as where they are today, because whatever their avenue was or is, they're putting in the time, and they're feeding it, and they're growing it, and they're making sure they're tending that garden. So thanks everybody for that. I've got another question for everybody. So Jackson, we're going to go back to you. Jackson, when you're working with agents on a deal, what's one of your pet peeves? What's something that drives you crazy?
I'll probably defer to everybody. I'm out of the business. I just refer them off. So I'll listen to everybody else.
All right, Michelle, how about you? What's a pet peeve when you're working with someone on a deal? What drives you nuts?
One, mansplaining. The people that are like, oh, I've been in the business for like 30 years, blah, blah, blah. That drives me bonkers. Just because you've been in the business forever doesn't mean you know more than me. If anything, you should probably either retire or go back and redo some schooling. And number 2, lack of communication. That is like ridiculous. If I'm trying to negotiate a deal and someone just ghosts or vanishes or doesn't get back to me in a timely manner, you just know where the deal or the negotiation is going to go or how the deal is going to go. So don't love it. Don't love the
on the deal. Show up as the best version of yourself and do everything at the highest level, because it's going to pay off. We're all in this together. We all got to work together in a professional environment. So, Vinod, how about you? What's a pet peeve when you're working with someone on a deal? What drives you nuts?
So I believe one main thing is when they are not replying to you. Lack of communication. That is really, really, I believe they are in a wrong business. So whatever, let's say, you're putting an offer, the property is worth $1 million, but I've sent you an offer for 900 or 950. At least you got to reply that, and that is mandatory, that, okay, I have presented your offer, and, our seller clients, they have refused it. And same goes with the lease. I have some team members, they work on leases, but other agents, they don't communicate. And I believe they are in a wrong business. I mean, they should be working somewhere else. That is the only thing which kind of, bothers me a lot when I'm working on a deal.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Quan, how about you? What's a pet peeve when you're working with an agent on a deal? What drives you crazy?
Yeah, I would say two quick things. And sorry for the crying baby in the background. I would say my number one is not going over the contract in detail, and we would have to go back and forth maybe like a million times just to make those tiny changes. So not dotting their I's and crossing their T's. And then the second biggest thing is when they step over $1 to pick up a nickel. So ruining a deal over maybe a few thousand or a few $100s. I've seen that a lot. So I would say those are my two biggest thing in the industry.
Thank you for that, Quan. And I'll add in to that too. We've done lots of transactions over the years, over 1,000 since we started. And one of the things that, and if any of you out there are listening that you may be new, or you may be, somewhere in the business where you're starting to do some transactions. When we do a deal with somebody, when we're negotiating an offer, we're looking at who they are, and we're pulling their numbers on the MLS. We're talking to the lender. We vet the lender, we vet the agent. We want to know who we're working with. And, a lot of times if they're a newer agent, we always take the lead and try to just have them follow our system. But if it's a newer agent, we try to help them. But one of the things that drives me nuts is when we get an agent that, like Michelle said, kind of mansplains it to us and say, listen, hey, look, we're moving at a pretty good clip here. We're just trying to get everybody on the same page so we can make this a win-win. And so when people try to, screw up an inspection or just make things difficult, that just really drives me nuts. And so if you're out there, when you get into a deal with anybody, make sure you've got your paperwork is on point. Make sure your timelines are on point, and you're keeping up with your timelines. Make sure if you've got a transaction coordinator, they're on it. Know when the appraisal is, know when the inspection is, and know what to look for on inspection. That's a big deal. Don't kill a deal over a bunch of light sockets that need to be replaced. That's not killing a deal. And so, I'm with you guys on that. So, all right, next question. This one is, about what we talked about earlier, building the business. You've got to have some business to build, right? You got to have something to build off of. So building a large sphere of influence is crucial in real estate. So Jackson, I know you're not really selling right now, but you've got a large sphere. You've got a large sphere. Like, how did you grow your sphere of influence?
So yeah, we've now worked with hundreds of clients relocating. And the crazy part is people who move and relocate, they usually say on average, people sell every 5 to 7 years, 7 years. Our clients tend to move every 2 to 2.5 years. And they typically come into an area, think they love it. And then once they learn it, they kind of find a better area, move on, or they got to relocate for a job. And the crazy part is we weren't getting a lot of those resells, the listings. So people ask me a lot, do you get listings from your marketing? It's like, we'll get some occasionally here and there, but where we get a ton of them is past clients. And so, yeah, our sphere, and especially with relocation clients, when they don't know anybody, what we've learned is we've really set up a lot of post-closing automations and, at least biannual drips, conversations, because they move in, they get in, like someone was talking about getting into groups. They'll get into groups, mommy groups, whatever, and they'll meet other realtors and boom, they're gone. And so we wanted to make sure we were staying on top of that. And one simple tool that we use, I'm sure everybody knows about, is HomeBot AI. And it just kind of sends a general market update to them, emails them every month, but you can track when they're clicking on that stuff too. And so it's my business partner, Jesse, he's the realtor. He's the crazy business guru. And he'll notice that somebody clicks on that 3, 4, 5 times, and he'll hit that agent and be like, hey, you need to call this person right away, and it's always like, oh my gosh, I was just thinking about calling you. We're thinking about selling. And so for us, it's a lot of just kind of quarterly, biannual reach outs, a lot of post-closing automations. And we've even gone as far as creating kind of relocation Facebook groups to get everybody who's moving in together so that everybody who's moved in can kind of help that new family in and welcome them too. So those are some of the strategies we do. It's really important to stay in touch with them, because if not, they will move on.
Yeah, you're right. If you're not talking to your database, somebody else is. That's for sure. So, all right. Thank you, Jackson. Michelle, building a large sphere of influence, crucial in real estate. And how did you grow your sphere of influence?
That is a very, very good question. So for me, well, I was very lucky. I went to high school in a small town. And in that high school, there was 1,500 people. And I was a social butterfly. So I literally did like soccer, hockey, but I also was a part of drama and social clubs and all the things. So after that, moved away, made more new friends and connections. And then I don't know if it's just because I don't know if I thought I was just going to get in real estate at some point, or just the way I am. I've just always had this need to just connect with every single person I talk to, or every person I run into. So when I came back to my small little town, I did an amazing job by just joining a ton of groups and sports. So I signed up for like volleyball, soccer, Chamber of Commerce, Young Professionals Network, volunteered for 100 plus women who care. Anyway, a whole bunch of aspects of life, and then met more people. I had conversations with every single person I met in the coffee shop and standing in line for a sub, or at Metro or your grocery store or whatever you guys are, wherever you are, whatever you call it. I literally just talked to everyone. I made conversations with every single person I ran into. So I grew that sphere so large, and I got those people to find me on social media and connect with me there. So I almost have this like sphere database in, Instagram and Facebook. And then, like I said earlier, I do make a serious effort, especially time blocking. And there's lots of people that don't want to do this, but I do spend a ton of time on Instagram specifically because I will do a lot of posts and then I get a ton of engagement. I'm always wishing my clients happy birthday. Always in our database, we have a happy home anniversary post that goes out, or email that goes out. So then again, people are responding to that. We host events. So we host, client appreciation events that we invite them out to. And then just general keeping in contact. It's really not that hard to just keep in contact. Even if you say, I'm going to reach out to 5 people today that I was thinking about, you could even do it as, scroll through on your phone, your contact list, scroll through and land on one person, like just let it roll, then point to the person and then reach out to them. Hey, I was going through my phone. I was thinking about you as well. I hope everything's well. Let me know if there's anything real estate wise I can help you with in the next, 6 months. And again, having that conversation, and you can text, you can call, you can email. There's all sorts of ways you can reach out to people, but just that keeping in contact with your people, because if you're not, someone else will.
Well, real estate is a contact sport, folks. If you just were listening to what this lady said, you have got to talk to everybody. The more people you talk to, the more business you're going to get. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but the more seeds you plant, the more you're going to sow. So you need to be talking to everybody all the time. Don't be a secret agent. Don't sit there at the coffee shop, stand in line, reading your phone. Talk to the guy or the girl next to you. Make a conversation anywhere you are, and you're going to find that a lot of people will be appreciative of that. Some won't, but a lot will, and you're going to get a lot more ground covered quickly. So, Michelle, thanks for that. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Bernard, same thing to you, sir.
Alrighty.
Building your sphere is crucial. How'd you build your sphere of influence?
Yes. So for me, I try to make at least 50 calls every day in my phone. I have a lot of numbers. I try to add 20, 25 contacts on a daily basis, right? But we have to keep in touch with them. So I would say I'm again an old school person. So talking to somebody, just asking how you're doing, and then that can lead to real estate things as well. So making calls every day is a part of my job. I take time out and make sure by the end of the day, at least I have talked to 50 people. That is number one. And number two is, if I'm not reaching out to those people, I'm not like reaching out to my maybe 5, 10,000 people. But at the same time, my social media is definitely reaching. And I was checking it out, my numbers just on my TikTok, and I was amazed to see. I did not check out those analytics, very often. But for my 60 days, uh, I made some videos, and my reach was 1.1 million views for 60 days. So I believe
Wow.
this is these are the things. I mean, you have to be in people's face, in their mind, in their life, because this is a long term business. It's not a short term. And I always say, for me, real estate is not just my profession, it is my passion. So I try to help people genuinely. So I do not make relationships just because of the business. So I make relationships, and business will definitely follow. It is pretty simple. It's not a rocket science. Thanks.
Old school, ground and pound. Love it. Thank you. Quan, how about you? Build a database, crucial. And how did you get your grow your sphere of influence?
Right. So there are a lot of things I do to grow my sphere of influence, but the main thing, and just to say something different from other panelists, I would, for social media, the platforms that you use. For myself on Facebook, I would consistently look at, because under Facebook they do have friend suggestion. So really based on what kind of clients you want to work with, what kind of mold or avatar, you kind of have a sense of what they look like and where they live, what kind of professions they do. So I do go on and try to add 5 to 10. I mean, yeah, you could say they're just random strangers who live in my town, to my friend, as a friend, send those requests out, and I would get those few acceptance. And I would say I close a few deals from it, every year, just from random strangers looking at my real estate updates and feeds. Post. So I think that works. You just have to be consistent at it. And as far as Instagram, if you do have an Instagram, you could go to your favorite, say, coffee shop or your favorite restaurant and see who are the followers, and you could click on the followers and try to, again, invite and friend request the people that you think would gel the most, like that you would want to work with. And that is essentially how I grew some of my social media platforms.
That's great, Quan. Thank you so much. And I'll add to that too.
Oh, sorry, Mike. Before you start, I do have a seller who has to move up her closing, so I do have to bounce out, if that's okay with you guys. But I do really enjoy today's session with you guys. Thank you.
So nice to see you again, Quan. Thanks so much. Okay, and my answer to the question, how did I grow my sphere? Michelle and I are, we've never met except for today, but we're doing a lot of the same things. I did a lot of the same things Michelle was talking about, and others too. I'm like Vinod, I'm old school, and when I met my team leader in 2011, when I was at another brokerage, he said, "Hey, I'm going to teach you how to lead generate." I go, "What does that mean?" And he gave me an office for 90 days. And I said, "I don't have a database." He goes, "You have a cell phone?" I went, "Yep." He goes, "Start going through there." So I started going through my cell phone and calling people that I knew. Started with my mom and my brother and my family. And I went down from there. And then I got a little more confident with it. And I read a book from Michael Mayer, a book Michael Mayer wrote called The 7 Levels of Communication. Great book. I highly recommend it. And I read that book and it changed my mindset for sure. I started going on to LinkedIn and connecting with other people on a business end, which is actually pretty easy to do because it's it's a business network. It's all about, B2B networking. And I started having coffees, and I was having 3, 4, 5, 6 coffees a week with different people and just adding them to my database. And then I was looking for different lead sources to call. Well, let me back up. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia all my life. And so I had a lot of friends, a lot of people I knew from all walks of life. And so I had a decent database. I used to manage a gym for several years in the sales department. So I had, a bunch of people from there. And I just took all that and really started nurturing those relationships, in addition to finding other lead sources. And there's the people that right? And then there's a lot more people you don't know. And so I was always trying to find the people I didn't know. And like Michelle, I was talking to people at football games and baseball games and anywhere, concerts, anywhere there were people, I was connecting, Starbucks, anywhere. And I just talked to people all the time, everybody I saw. And it really will serve you well. It takes a little while to get going, but I just did what everybody here did. And I just got out there and got out of my comfort zone and did it. And it's turned into a really good thing for us. So thank you all for that. So next question. We're going to talk about, mentoring and fostering growth within our community. So one of the things I was talking about earlier when we first got on the panel here is EXP is such a great company. Everybody here has, in my mind, the right mindset, an abundance mindset. Everybody's got their hands out to help people, lift people up, because, rising tide raises all ships. And I've had nothing but a great experience from everybody I've come in contact with here at this company. And so in terms of mentorship, fostering growth within the EXP community, the question is, and I'll go to you, Jackson, first. So in terms of mentoring and fostering growth within the EXP community, how do you contribute to the development of other agents?
That's almost the majority of what I do nowadays. I've got a big YouTube channel called the Channel Junkies. It's been about probably 5, almost 6 years of basically documentation of how I figured out this whole YouTube for real estate game. And I have been giving it away for hundreds and hundreds of videos, podcasts. So I really teach a lot like that. It's actually helped us to attract, my business partner and I, we've got about 400 agents total in our organization, and about, I think, close to 70 or 80 frontline. And we've never had to reach out to anybody. So we provide so much value in that. So this is another thing for you guys listening. If you want to attract agents, bring people in, find something that you're good at. People tend to lean towards I got to be good at social media. No, it's not that. There's so many agents hurting right now. If you're getting deals and closing deals in times like these, you've got a lot of strengths. And those are things that you can start, teaching and putting out there to attract a lot of agents. And so it's helped us to attract that entire downline of people reaching out to us. So we just give and give and give. I always have for a long time. And I do all that on my Channel Junkies channel.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I've seen your channel. It's you guys are huge. You've grown a lot in the last.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I didn't know.
Yeah. All right, Michelle, how about you? What are you doing to in terms of mentorship and fostering growth within the EXP community? How do you contribute to the development of other agents?
I think this community, or I guess this brokerage, is totally based on community and helping each other. So number one, I'm here, I'm available for all the agents within the organization that need help ever. So just putting that out there. But what I do is, I started a community group, a realtor community group for EXP in our area. And I volunteer my hours and my time. I run a Wednesday meeting. We get all sorts of people on, professionals in all sorts of capacities. We run training sessions. We help with pain points. And then we talk about, new listings and what people are needing for buyers. So I run that specifically to kind of keep momentum going and that community feel, and just everyone being able to contribute and help each other. And then I have my own crew. So my downline and my real estate group as well, that I help and mentor and do all the things. So I'm very accessible. Anyone within EXP has reached out to me. I usually get back to them very quickly and help them with whatever they need. And I think that this is just the perfect place for us to be able to do that. And like-minded people are here, which is amazing.
Amen to that. You nailed it. This company is built on that. That's one of the reasons I'm proud to be there. So thank you for that, Michelle. Vinod, same thing you, sir. Mentorship, fostering growth within EXP. How do you contribute and develop to the development of other agents?
Yeah, this is, again, I would say the best company to work with, because I worked with another company before. And I always say this is the second company and the last company I'm working for my real estate journey. And as far as how we are helping others, so we have a small branch office here in Mississauga in Ontario. So we try to help all the EXP agents. So it doesn't matter like whether they are in our downline or not, they are from anywhere. So we have this branch office, and we have 2 admins as well. We try to help out other EXP agents if they need any sort of help. And we are always available, that if they have any questions regarding anything, like, you talk about, documentation part, SkySlope or KV Core or anything. If anybody asks us anything, we are always there to help each other, because I always say, it's giving back to the community is the best thing. And when we try to give back to the community, we get in multifold come back to us as well. So we are always available, and this branch office try to help out all the EXP agents in and around. And for our downline, we definitely do many other things as well, like our weekly meetings, our Zoom calls, and our other events. So where we try to help out all those agents so that they can grow exponentially in this company as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Yes, that's always, giving back is always the way to go. So I feel the same way. I like to help everybody, like the agents that we are not only doing deals with, but I'm a certified mentor and have mentored probably, 8 or 10 agents that way. And then everyone in our downline in our group, I've helped them with contracts, best practices, teach them how to lead gen, just really trying to help people grow their business. A lot of times my help is showing them where to go into EXP to find something, going into workplace and where to find a certain group or a certain, going in the world, maneuvering the world. If you guys aren't spending time maneuvering the world, it's so easy. Go in there, and it's basically everything you need is in there. You can go to agent services, and everything you need is right there. And the people that are working there are awesome. And also doing panels like this, for as part of being an ICON agent, we have the opportunity. We don't have to do this. We have the opportunity to come up and give back to you guys by presenting on stage and doing things and telling, agents how we're doing running our businesses. And so I love this part. I love that this helps us get our ICON awards, and we all love doing it. That's why we're here. So I like to just be an active part of the agents that I'm in my local world. And then also, of course, with EXP that as a whole, giving back, we're doing panels and things like this. So looks like we've got just a few minutes left. So we're going to keep this next question, kind of short and basic. And I'm going to kick it off to you, Jackson. And just what's one thing you can attribute to your success as an ICON agent with EXP?
Oh, man. I mean, it's as simple as like just never giving up. Kind of everything we talked about before. We have worked, and when things were going well, we were closing a lot of homes. We continued doing it, and I think that's one of the hardest things is when people get busy, agents get busy. You see it all the time. They just kind of completely stop marketing efforts. So you can ICON once, and then maybe the next year it doesn't happen. But we've been able to keep the foot on the gas. But I would probably say, now that I had a second to think about it, I have a business partner, Jesse Dow, and we are 180 degrees out from each other. I am a very, loud, outgoing video guy, and he is a direct, he drives the train, man. He runs the businesses. And so that's another thing, if you're struggling out there too, or if you really want to go to the next level. We've talked about mentorships and all that. Sometimes it's finding somebody out there who does these things that you're not good at, that you can partner up with and split duties. And so he handles all the real estate side of things, the transactions, managing the agents, all the systems, the processes. And that allows me to continue to go out, and I shoot YouTube videos every week. I mean, I'm literally just a YouTuber. So we've been able to not only icon or grow, but grow and have more and more sales each and every year. So for me, I guess now thinking about it, partnering with somebody who does all the things that I'm not good at, and keeping the foot on the gas.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Jackson. So Michelle, same thing to you. What's one thing you can attribute to your success as an icon agent?
Honestly, my grit and my drive. I stick to my goals. I set them, and I'm going to get there. And that's the end of the story. So
cut and dry. I love it. That's it. You're speaking my language.
Yeah.
Vinod, how about you, sir? What's one thing you can attribute to your success as an icon agent?
Never giving up and be consistent. Whatever you are doing, whatever milestones we all have achieved, we know that we can scale it, we can replicate it. So I believe I got to do whatever I got to do on a daily basis and be consistent, whether you want it or whether you don't want it.
That's right. And I'll kind of mirror what everybody's saying. One thing I could attribute is just mindset. I mean, having the right mindset, you must believe that you can do it. And then you must take action, and you must be consistent. Markets change, things change, life changes. You've got to be able to pivot and just stay at it, never quit, never give up, and look long-term into the future. This is a long-term game. This is not a get-rich-quick strategy. This is a long-term game. And just having the right mindset. I've got a lovely, beautiful wife who is my biggest cheerleader and my biggest supporter. And she helps me keep my mindset in check when I have some negative self-talk, and she'll pull me right out of that. So just make sure you've got some good folks around you that are looking out for your best interest, and above all, have the right mindset, and just grind every day. Just never give up. Do something every day. Be consistent. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost out of time. I want to thank everybody on the stage today. Jackson, Michelle, Vinod, Quan, thank y'all so much. Folks, these are the cream of the crop, top agents in our community and our brokerage. And you can find everybody in workplace chat. You can find everybody in workplace. I mean, we're all here, and we're doing this because we want to give back to you. And hopefully you're watching this recording, share it with an agent. Like you, no matter if you're doing one deal or 100 deals, you have something to share, and you can help someone grow, and just be a smiling face and say something nice and just give back. But above all, get a plan and get to work, and use everybody around you and the resources you have in this great company to succeed. So this is Mike Price from Atlanta, Georgia, signing off. Thanks to everybody on the panel today. Brian, thank you for setting it up, and everybody on the back end. We appreciate everything you do at eXp Realty. We are thrilled to be here. And like Vinod, this is the last place I will ever work. It's the best brokerage I've ever been with. And I look forward to just continuing on, and see you all at eXpCon this coming weekend. I hope to see you all there. Thanks so much.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us for iConversations this week. We'll be back next